Meletrix is back at it again with the release of their new Zoom65 V2.5. What is in Apple terms an S-year upgrade. So what's new? What's changed? And does it warrant a need for you to upgrade? Let's find out. As a disclaimer, Meletrix did send this unit out for review and to inform you, the viewers, of the changes brought forth by this new iteration of the Zoom. So without further ado, let's open up the bag. Going inside, we start off with the new WS 3.1 stabs, a step above their previous iterations that were relatively harder to tune. Next up are the screws and stand-ups needed for the build, followed by the blue gasket sleeves we first saw on the Zoom TKL and Zoom65. In my experience, these are far easier to install than gasket socks and adhesive pour-on ones. Moving on over, we got the hex bitten feet for the case. And lastly, on top are all the foams that we'll test out later, the standard polycarbonate plate, as well as the PCB, coiled cable, and knob. Finally, the star of the show, the Zoom65 V2.5 in its new finish, the SE Lavender variant with a clean anodized finish, chamfers all around just like the Zoom75 SE, as well as that stunning new aluminum back case. I won't bore you with the build guide on this one as it's practically the same as the V2, and Meletrix has a comprehensive guide to build this as well. Let's now discuss the changes brought by the V2.5 name. First of which is pretty clearly seen from the start. The Zoom65 now has an SE variant just like their other Zoom boards. SE means special edition, and with this, you get 3 anodized colors such as this lavender I have here, SE orange, SE black, plus 1 E white. This is along with the EE variants, which are cheaper and offer a load more color options for you to choose from. This also brings a new back design with an aluminum case back rather than a glossy and fingerprint magnet glass back, which is still present on the EE versions of the 2.5. Besides this, the board now comes with a nightlight knob as default, shown on their website. I didn't get one on time since this is a proto unit, but the render clearly shows how it would look like on the board. And lastly, as Meletrix is keeping up with its competitors, the board now comes standard with a tri-mode, flex or non-flex cut PCB. You can now use this not only with a USB Type-C port and Bluetooth but also with the included dongle for 2.4 GHz present in a group by unit. This is a welcome change as the majority of their competitors now offer this, and it's much easier in my opinion to connect via the dongle than Bluetooth. The EE starts at 175 with 11 case colors, and the SE starts at just shy of 200 USD with the 4 colors mentioned earlier. Other notable changes are that the stabs on this are updated to the new WS 3.1 versions, and I might say they were easier to tune than before with the V2, and weighing them side by side, I saw a slight decrease in weight coming from the EE Zoom to the SE Zoom, as maybe the glass back was the main cause for the weight increase. Texture-wise, the EE Zoom65 has a rougher and matte texture than the SE's quite slippery and frosty texture. The SE definitely is a looker of the bunch, as the polished chamfers go corner to corner of the case, inside and outside, while the EE version only has chamfers without any bling. Both though are anodized and electrostatic coated pretty well. I didn't see any blemishes even with my proto unit. The SE Lavender anodization looks and feels so nice to the touch, and I've noticed that it's quite similar to the Mosquix Lavender. If you want to see the black SE, my friend RX has one up on his channel where he compared it to the gray B2. Do go and check that out. With all of those changes out of the way, let me tell you about the configs I did. I basically recorded a whole bunch of sound tests for the board ranging from all the foams, slowly removing them one by one until it's out of foam, and finally, my best config with mods. This is with the PBT keycap set, KTT roses lubed by Kurt Bro switches, as well as the WS 3.1 stabs. Enjoy! With all the foams, including PE, you definitely hear the marbly and signature Zoom sound. The flex is quite limited on this one, as the plate and case foam are limiting it. Switching over to removing the PE foam, I think I like this config the best in terms of sound. Gone are the quite universal sound of PE foam, and while it's quite bland to others, I actually quite like this. Removing the plate foam changed the sound to be a little bit thinner, whilst making the board a little bit flexier. I don't prefer this as it sounds kinda empty. Removing the case foam completes the removal of all the foams. In this config, it's quite the loudest, as the dampening given by the foams are now gone. It's also the flexiest, but I think it's too much. Definitely a little hollow on the num row. Finally, my favorite config is taping up the flex cuts, adding back the plate foam for a fuller sound, and leaving out the case and PE foam. Now this is up to my personal taste, but I'll let you be the judge. Overall, the Zoom65 V2.5 is a nice iterative upgrade to the original V2, which brought many changes to the 65 family. It may not warrant you an upgrade if you have a V2, but if you missed out on the group buy, or were eagerly waiting for extras or second-hand units, I'd say wait a bit more and join this group buy instead. The updated PCB and nightlight knob alone for the same price is a bang for the buck. Not to mention the additional choices you got with the SE variants. Even with the latest releases in the market, I think the Zoom65 is still a staple 65% custom keyboard for the market, and I think it's still worth taking a look at, especially that the GB starts at the 19th and will end on the 10th of October. For my local viewers, the GB will be handled by our lovely friends at Science Studios PH. And for those watching outside the PH, do keep in touch with Meletrix Discord for any updates regarding that. Aside from that, let me ask you, what do you think of the Zoom65 V2.5? Will you be joining the group buy? Let me know down below. I'm John J. Biraba, and I'll see you in the next video.